So, what the is Southgate doing? Going into this year's Euros, England were up there. They were right up there as one of the favourites to win the whole thing and go that one step further than they did 3 years ago against the Italians. So far, England are still in good standing within their group, narrowly holding on to a 1-0 win against Serbia in their opener and following that up with a 1-1 draw against Denmark in Stuttgart on Tuesday. However, the football is absolutely abysmal. You look at the quality of players this England team have got, boys, likes of Bellingham, Kane, Saka, Foden, and you think the turgid football that this England team is playing. You look at these players, they want to flourish. They want to flourish in this England team, man. They want to showcase their talent, right? You've got Saka in an Arsenal team. He takes them up a level. You've got Bellingham. Obviously, he's been a generational talent. You know, one of my favourite players in world football. And obviously, the things he's doing in Madrid is incredible. Champions League winner now as well. You got, obviously, Phil Foden and all his talent, man. Obviously, playing in an amazing Man City team. And obviously won Premier League Player of the Year there as well. So it's crazy. It is crazy the type of players England have got at their disposal. Southgate's got at his disposal. But yet the football we're seeing, boys, the end result of all this is just so bad. When you really break it down, boys, I mean, there's a number of reasons for this. I mean, I'll give you boys my squad very soon that I would play in the third game against Slovenia. And that should be, no disrespect to Slovenia, but that should be an England win. But you look at England's 2 games so far, even the 4 points they've picked up. In the Denmark goal was poor defending. I mean, it was a nice strike, but, you know, it was definitely poor defending, allowing him that much space to shoot. And especially against the Serbia game as well. I mean, the football, I thought England started very well against Serbia. But then, obviously, once they got the goal, there was no added energy, added enthusiasm to get that second and third. It was just a case of seeing out what they already had, man. And yeah, it's that kind of principle, man, with Southgate. It's just like, you know, rather than not lose what they've got, then go for more, and this England team can go for so much more. When we break it down, you look at like Harry Kane. I mean, obviously probably not fully fit the way it's looking at the minute. You know, when he's playing for this England side, he's not looking fully fit. But even if he is fully fit, right, you've got a world-class strike in your hands. No one's going to deny that with Harry Kane. Type of player he is, he's always coming short for that ball. It makes the team selections around him absolutely pointless when he does that, because you're looking at playing right. He played Trent in the first 2 games. Why is Trent playing in the midfield? Quality player, but there's no point playing Trent if Kane's coming short all the time. Trent can see a pass. Trent can see a pass in behind. You know, if you've got a runner in behind, like look at, for example, Denmark, late in the game against Denmark, Ollie Watkins came on. You see the difference. Having that willing runner to go in behind the centre-backs to give the Danish back line something else to worry about, something else to think about. You know, they're having to check on their shoulder then. Rather than all the play being in front of them, they're having to look over their shoulder, it's going behind them again, man. And defenders hate pace, right? And they hate having to check all their surroundings, right? Whenever players are giving them other things to think about. Watkins done that. And nothing crazy, you know, it wasn't game breaking or anything, but it just showed that because he came on and he had a bit, well, maybe I think he came on around the 70th minute in that game. You know, he was on to prove a point, obviously. And whilst he didn't do anything crazy in the game, even there was definitely one run, maybe a couple more, in that last 20 minutes of that game. Ran behind the Danish defense, and you know, he was creating things. Just something else for Denmark to think about, man. And Kane wouldn't have done that. You know, if Trent's on the ball, or you know, it's not just Trent. Bellingham can see a pass. Foden can see a pass. There's quality players on the ball that can see things happening. If there's winning runners, obviously the pass can be played to them. You know, Trent sees Watkins running in behind, he'll slip him through. You know, Trent can see a pass through the lines, but you know, it's all good having that. But if Kane's standing like 10 yards ahead of him with his back to goal, it's just not gonna work, is it? It's just not gonna work, man. And for me, going kind of added on with that point as an additional point, following up from what I've just said there, boys. What way would you play it? I mean, drop it in the comments. Let me know. I mean, obviously Slovenia, England should definitely win that, and if they do, they'll be through the group. I mean, they're 4 points at the minute. You know, even if it was an awful result against Slovenia, they'll probably still progress through. You'd back to beat Slovenia, even if it is another boring game like a 1-0 or something that don't really play that well. But drop it in the comments. What would you boys do, man, for the rest of this tournament in terms of the squad you play? Because for me, and I've heard a lot of people say this as well, Gordon plays out left for me. I think you just divide the midfield into 3 spaces rather than having the 2 sitters. You have Declan Rice holding, you have Bellingham in that 8 box to box, because we know he can do that. He's definitely one of the best midfielders in the world, but one of those best like box to boxes, man. He's full action, all energy midfielder. So Bellingham in that box to box role, and then you play Foden centrally rather than out wide, because yeah, he's been wasted out there. He's a quality player, and I've heard some people say he has to be dropped. If you just play this system that I'm saying, and many of you boys I'm sure will say as well, it'd be so much better, man. You play Foden in that 10 with Bellingham behind him in the 8, you know, up and down, and then you've got the Declan Rice holding in front of the back 4. You have Saka out right, and then do you play Kane up front? You could still play Kane up front, or you maybe throw Watkins in. It's Slovenia, so you know, if Southgate, I know Southgate obviously, as we know, he's a defensive coach, but against Slovenia, you know, as I say, no disrespect to them, but you should be beating them with even some of your second-tier players in his eyes, right? So you start Watkins in that game. He had a little bit of a cameo in the last game, as I mentioned there a few minutes ago, boys, and he did well. Nothing crazy, but he done well. And his pace, well, it'd be interesting to see what way the England team plays with having a striker that can do that and running behind, because Kane just feels like it slows it all. Everything slows up with him. He's a good hold-up player, he's a good finisher, but in this system, I just don't think he works the best. So, as I say, you'd play Gordon out left, Foden in the 10, Saka out right, and then you'd play Bellingham behind that in like a box-to-box, Declan Rice holding in the CDM position, and then for me, I would start Watkins. I would start Watkins and see what happens with that, man, because the thing with it is if you're going to play Trent in that team, and obviously what I've just laid out there, boys, that I wouldn't play Trent because I've given you my team. It'd be Gordon, Foden, Saka, Watkins, Bellingham, Rice as the front six, or the six midfielders and forwards. But yeah, if you're gonna play Trent though, you definitely have to start Watkins. I don't see the point of playing Trent, a player like that who's probably England's most, in terms of a midfielder with the most creativity. Trent's up there. So why would you play? I don't get why you play Kane there. I just don't get the point of it, because he, as I said earlier, Trent's got that ability to see a pass before anyone else sees it, and he'll play it through. He's got the quality on the ball, his technical ability. But like, if Kane's standing 5 yards in front of him, you know, back to goal, and the defenders got him, and defenders can see everything in front of them, there ain't a point in it. As I say, I'm still going for England winning this next game, boys. It shouldn't be too much of a test against Slovenia, but then going forward into the knockout stages, that's when the stuff really gets serious. What's going to happen? Is he going to change the team around? Is he going to add a few alterations in? Let's see what happens, but Southgate, it's on him, man. I mean, many people are saying if this will be his last go. So whether he wins it or loses it, it's probably going to be bye-bye Southgate anyways after this. So let's see what happens. It'll probably be his last international tournament, I would say. So can he win it for England? Well, you know, there's certainly one of my favourites to win it, but on evidence of the 2 games I've seen so far, boys, I'm not so sure. And yeah, as I say, smash a like on the video if you've enjoyed, boys. Get your comments in. Let me know what you do if you were Southgate in his position. And yeah, subscribe. Get involved with the channel, man. We've loaded these like topical videos on the channel all over the summer and into the new season. And of course, you boys will see this on a Monday. Obviously, our next watch along on the channel is going to be Tuesday evening, boys. We're going to be doing Netherlands against Austria. So that should be a decent game. So we're going to watch that one. And as I said, there'll be a lot of Euro watch alongs over the summer, man, for this Euro tournament. So get involved, smash a like, subscribe, and I'll see you boys in the next one, man. Peace out.